hello, and welcome to Unstuck with Charlie. My name is Charlie Arms. How are you doing today? Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, have you had your temperature checked lately? Now, I'm not talking about putting a thermometer in your mouth. I'm talking about your faith. Okay. You may have noticed that people can become very cold or lukewarm in their faith. The Bible mentions this in the book of Revelation. Jesus is speaking to the churches in a message through John in Revelation, and he says this, I wish you were either hot or cold, but because you are lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. Interesting little fact here, the word for spit is probably better understood as vomit or barf or hurl. Now you get my point. Being lukewarm is the worst condition. Now, think about this. A cold drink on a hot day is refreshing. A hot drink on a cold day feels good. But a lukewarm drink is something we rarely want, right? Remember, we're talking about a spiritual reality, not body temperature. What Jesus is saying is that we have to check our temperature spiritually to see whether we are hot, cold, or lukewarm. Now, how do we do that? Now, I'm going to hope that none of you are cold. Cold means that you've basically given up on faith, given up on God, and spiritual matters altogether. That's cold. Hot means that you're passionate about your faith, you're pursuing God through service in the kingdom, through the church, and in your personal lifestyle and decisions, you want to be obedient to God. You're hot or you're cold. At least you've chosen a position. Now, if you say you're a Christian and you're lukewarm, Jesus is basically saying here that it makes him sick. He wants to spit you out of his mouth. Now, that's a hard saying, but I didn't say it. Jesus did. Now, I'm going to give you 4 signs that you are lukewarm spiritually. Now, I hope you can take a spiritual temperature check here because this is important. Lukewarm Christians are content to continue in sin. That's the first sign we see. Lukewarm people really don't want to be saved from their sin. They only want to be saved from the penalty of their sin, right? God is a useful fire escape they employ, not a God they worship. Lukewarm Christians rarely share their faith with their neighbors. That's a second thing. They don't share their faith with neighbors, co-workers. They don't share their faith publicly. They pretend to fit in and be like everyone else. Charles Spurgeon said this, you're either a missionary or an imposter. Third thing, lukewarm Christians are preoccupied with things on earth, not with heavenly things. They think about life on earth much more often than eternity in heaven. Lukewarm Christians spend very little time on things of God. This could include those who go to church every Sunday, but do nothing to serve God or to talk about God or represent God at any other time. Preoccupied with work or school or things of life instead of carving out time for things that matter in faith. And fourth and final, lukewarm Christians are satisfied. They love their luxuries and rarely give to the poor in a truly sacrificial way. Lukewarm Christians don't live by their faith. Their lives are structured so they never have to, right? David Platt says, if you're not in a place where you feel desperate for the Spirit of God, then there's no way you are on the front lines of the mission. When we are on the front lines, we feel desperately our need for God's help. This is why we see people of faith living more strongly for God in places where there are poverty and struggle. You see, satisfaction and contentment are signs of being lukewarm. Lukewarm Christians give God their leftovers, not their first and best. Stop calling your complacency and apathy a busy schedule or bills or forgetfulness. Now, I know this is a pretty hard topic, but I wanted to issue a challenge to those of us who consider ourselves Christians or people of faith. Now, perhaps we're not as hot or on fire for Jesus as we think. We got the bumper sticker, but we're really not hot, on fire for Jesus. Maybe we're just lukewarm. And Jesus certainly doesn't like lukewarm, and he won't accept that. In fact, it makes him sick. Hey, listen, I want you to get in the comment section below and let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button and take just a moment to hit the like button below. And I really hope that you take this challenge to heart. Not hot, not cold. Maybe we're lukewarm, but we need to be hot, right? We need to be on fire, right? We need to let that fire burn. Thank you. God bless you. And let's move forward.